reason so many successful women feel exhausted is not because they're weak. It's because they're carrying two leadership roles at once. The visible one is, of course, at work, and then the invisible one is at home. Hello everyone, Isabelle here. Welcome back to another episode of the Love, Lead, Succeed podcast. And let us rise a little higher today. I want to talk about something very important. It's something that many high-achieving women understand but do not always say out loud. It's the emotional load, the mental load, the invisible responsibility that follows us from the boardroom to the kitchen table, and from the strategy meeting to school forums, doctor's appointments, family logistic, and birthday parties. This is not about blame. This is about truth. Because we cannot heal what we are afraid to name. And for years, I knew what it meant to show up at a high level at work. I had the title, the responsibilities, the meetings, the expectations. I was leading teams, making decisions, carrying pressure, and solving problems like a badge of honor. And then I would come home and not to rest, or not to exhale, because that'd be a crazy idea, but to the next leadership role. Homework that needed attention, meals to think about, appointments to remember, emotional needs to hold, school details, family schedules, the little things that are not little at all when they live in your mind all day. And whether a woman is single, married, separated, or supported by a partner, many women still carry the emotional center of that family. We notice what needs to be done. We anticipate needs before they are spoken. We remember the dates, right? We feel the moods. We hold the invisible thread that keeps everything moving. And that's a great form of leadership. But because it is unpaid and often unseen, many women really minimize it. For senior women leaders, this load becomes even heavier because the world expects excellence in every room. At work, you are expected to be strategic, calm, decisive, and available. And at home, you're expected to be loving, present, organized, emotionally available. And somewhere in the middle, you can start disappearing from your own life. And that's sad. This is why I believe that self-love is really not a luxury. It is a leadership requirement. In my book, Love, Lead, Succeed, I write about leading with love, but love has to include you. It can not only be love for your team, your family, your clients, your organization, and everyone else who depends on you. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot lead sustainably if your own needs are always last on the agenda. We need to stop normalizing women being exhausted as a proof that they are devoted. We need to stop calling over-functioning strength. We need to stop celebrating women only when they hold everything together quietly. Because the truth is, many women are not asking for less ambition. They're asking for more alignment. They still want to lead, build, serve, create, grow, influence, inspire. But they also want to breathe, sleep, laugh, be present, feel held, feel human. That is not a weakness, that is wisdom. The Love, Lead, Succeed approach invites us to ask different question. Not how much more can I carry, but what kind of life and leadership am I creating right now? And how aligned am I with that purpose? Not how can I keep proving that I'm strong, but where do I need support, boundaries, and self-trust? Not how I can do everything perfectly, but what actually matters most in this season of my life. And when you begin asking those questions, your energy changes. Your decisions change. Your leadership changes. If this is speaking to you, I want you to pause today and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I carrying that no one sees? What have I normalized that is actually completely draining me? Where do I need to ask for support or create a new boundary? Do not judge the answers. Just notice them. Awareness is the first step back to yourself. If you're a high-achieving woman and a mother, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not failing because you're tired. You are not ungrateful because you want space. You are not selfish because you need support. You are human. And your humanity is not separate from your leadership. It is part of your leadership. The most powerful women I know are not the ones who pretend to never struggle. They are the ones who learn to lead themselves with the same love they give everyone else. If this episode spoke to your heart, I invite you to share it with a woman who has been carrying too much in silence. And if you're ready to reclaim your time, purpose, power, and energy, DM me the word rise or visit me on loveleadsucceed.com or on Instagram to learn more about my work and the Executive Renewal Program. You were not created only to perform. You were created to live, lead, and succeed with love. I will see you next time. Keep rising, shining, and living with Love Lead Succeed.